Initiating System 1. System 1 loaded.
The GoreCast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. As well as the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head.
America's longest running horror channel, www.withoutyourhead.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
What's up, GoreCasters? Welcome back here to the GoreCast on Sunday night with myself and Shizzles over there. Because he doesn't give a shiz. Shizzles.
This is an accurate. I'm not gonna. Not accurate.
How accurate? Pretty accurate? Accurate enough? Roughly accurate? Quasi accurate?
I think
hey
it depends
Katie, how
on
are
the
you?
subject
And
matter.
hey Bree, and hey Midnight. How's things going? And thank you for joining us. I know it's Super Bowl night for some of you people over there.
Hi everybody.
Hope they're all doing well in the field of local sports.
Super Bowl. Oh yeah, that thing. Oh, do you know what that means? That means there's going to be a load of really cool trailers and stuff to see tomorrow.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I know the Buccaneers are playing because I saw Chris Jericho had a post. Because he's at it.
Sorry, all I could think of is the joke from Third Rock from the Sun. When John Cleese turns up as a pirate, where are your Buccaneers? Under my bucking hat.
Hey, Shabby Bakes, how are you?
Hey, Pam.
Yeah, so up on tonight's chopping block, we are taking a slight break from our themed nights that go along with our stuff on American Horrors, and because there's some cool releases, and we were like, I wanna watch them. I was a bit pissed off with one of them.
I
for the most part enjoyed one. I quite enjoyed another one, and there's another one that if it hadn't been branded a certain way, I probably would have enjoyed that too, to be blatantly honest.
I don't know. I don't think anything could have saved it personally. I was just banging my head against the wall.
It's one of those movies that will always annoy Giz and I, because it's like you can see where all the building blocks of potential are there, and then you can see why for some reason they storylined around it.
I was watching it, and I actually started I was actually starting to think to myself, like, did I must look and have a look, but did two different people work on the script and decide that they couldn't agree on what the story was?
Oh yeah, that's our last movie of the night, so we're going to leave Rantatron. People tend to enjoy when Buzz or I go off the fucking rails on a rant. So I said we'll leave that one. We'll put that one last, because there's going to be a rant about reboots in general, because there's a running theme with reboots now. Which, we're so original. No, you're not, because every reboot's doing literally the exact, every one of you, bar the Invisible Man.
It's gotten to the stage that even the Animaniacs reboot took the piss out of people doing reboots.
Yes, but they did it in a way.
Awesome.
And you know what? I think after so many years of animated entertainment, they're allowed to sell out. I think they've earned it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Once you and I hit our
absolutely.
60s, I think if there's some marketing deal, we're just taking it.
60s. Dude, I still can't fathom that I made it this long, to be perfectly honest.
Let me just have a quick sip on this nice, refreshing Popsy. Insert branding here.
Okay.
I was just having flashbacks of that Wayne's World bit.
Choice of a new generation.
Yes, it is the choice of a new generation.
It's not.
Yeah, so the movies we have lined up today, if memory serves me correctly, the order is I Am Lisa, 10 Minutes to Midnight, and finally, Wrong Turn.
Yeah, that.
Which is quite an appropriate name for this. Because, yeah, we'll get into that. Because I'll tell you, because you hear reboot, and you hear, oh, they're rebooting a movie franchise that literally has 5 fucking movies.
7.
Is it 7?
Or else this is number 7.
I'm not even going to, fuck it. But anyway, it's not remotely what you're expecting. Not in a good way. Some of it's in a good way.
We can get to that in a while, because I feel there's going to be a lot of.
But anyway, I Am Lisa. It's a revenge story about a chick, and there's some interesting. I'll put it this way: it's not I Spit in Your Grave style revenge story, but yet it is. If you know what I mean, it is. But it isn't.
Kind of is a little bit. Yeah.
It's I Spit in Your Grave, but it very, very mostly happens over a period of 3 nights a month.
Anyway,
when the full moon's rising. That's what I was going at.
Grant, because you didn't explain that one very well, and it opened up all kinds of Pandora box jokes.
I would have thought any Buffy fan would know that you got the full moon and the night before and the night after.
Okay, fair enough.
What happened in Buffy must be true. That's what I worked out. Because, I mean, look, as documentaries go, that was one of the longest running, best docu-series ever. Just amazing. It's good. Yes, after that we have 10 Minutes to Midnight, where a lady gets bitten by a bat on her way to work, and, well, you can assume how that goes. Rabies. And thirdly, we have Wrong Turn, which is... I'm going to let you dwell on it for a while, because you can work all these connotations into your head as to what the movie's going to be about, and then be completely wrong once we start reviewing it, because it's not remote. No, it's not remotely what you're thinking. There's woods involved, so they've at least kept to the plot that way. And and there's stupid idiots that go into the woods when they're told not to, so they kept to the storyline that way. But other than that, that's about where the similarities draw. But before I build up into a rant, as is customary on most nights, all nights, unless there's literally shit all happening, we have some news bits for you. So we're going to jump over to the newsroom and we're going to go through them, because one of them looked like a really cool animated thing. Don't have a clue what it's about, because I don't read the news bits. I like to react live. But I have not had that come through my headphones in a long time, and that wasn't fun. I don't mind telling you. Jesus Christ. Midnight Rider said Wrong Turn reboot is the 7th film. I completely missed one in the middle. Or at the tail end. I won't lie to you, they kind of got a little bit worse as the storylines went on, so I kind of clocked out around 4.
Dude, I've never seen any of them.
Realistically, I wasn't.
Realistically,
I kind of clocked out after Eliza Dushku wasn't in them.
Yeah, that's a fairly applicable reason to clock out.
Sticking with the Buffy theme, you know?
Yeah. Anyway,
yes.
On to the first news bit.
We have some animated dinosaur doodad thing. What you call it? Godzilla?
No. It's a kaiju.
Gojira?
Because it's the animated Pacific Rim TV series that's going to be coming out on Netflix on March 4th. Fuck yeah!
I'm going to...
Pacific Rim...
I'm a little bit dubious.
Why?
Because they cocked up Godzilla pretty bad.
Yes, they did. That is true. However, they're going to be fixing that with a new Godzilla thing that's completely different.
Okay, good. Because Space Godzilla was the...
Yeah,
Like,
I know,
it was one of
But
those
look,
weird
this is
things where it
different-
was like, did you not learn anything from the live action movies, which is we don't give a flying fuck about the human stories. We want to see the monsters beat the shit out of each other. Gojira.
Dude, relax, because if nothing else, right, this comes from Legendary Entertainment and Craig Kyle and Greg Johnson. Yes! Woohoo! Who have done sterling work with some awesome cartoons and comic books over the decades. X-Men Evolution, Wolverine and the X-Men. Oh, Thor Ragnarok is another interesting one that like was Greg Kyle. But so yeah, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'd be up for it. There's a synopsis for it. Here we go. There was a time when kaiju rose from the Pacific Rim only to encounter gigantic robots, Jaegers, built to fight them back. That time has passed. Now, Australia has been overrun by kaiju, forcing the evacuation of an entire continent. Bad day. Left behind, siblings Taylor and Haley embark on a desperate search for their missing parents, teaching themselves to pilot a battered, long-abandoned Jaeger to help in their quest and give them even the slightest hope of surviving. I like how they put that in. They're boned, but they got this thing, so maybe, just maybe.
Yeah, it's an anime. That's how animes work.
Yeah. This is set to be a 7-episode, 30-minute each series. Like I said, it's going to be coming out on March 4th.
I feel they're giving this the Castlevania treatment, which was six 20-minute episodes, and if it goes down like a hoot, next thing you know, you get a 12-episoder season 2.
To be fair, I mean, it's understandable, all things being equal, because we've seen...
I'm not giving out about it, I'm just saying...
Yeah. I mean, Voltron, by like, that was great. Apparently, a lot of people weren't happy with how it did, and I can understand given one or two of the characters and the stance it was taking on a couple of things, but overall, it was a decent enough series, I thought.
Yeah,
certainly
I thought it was okay.
A good reboot of the original cartoon. So, like I said, there's... You know, this could... I don't know if it's going to be tying into any of the future films, going to be getting any of those, but it would be interesting to see, like, this kind of... If they do a series developing from it for a time when, like, humanity is boned and coming back to fight again, rather than, you know, seeing them just on the brink in the films.
Yes. Okay. I will probably give that a go. I will, because it's anime and it's me. You know me. Right. Next. Girl by a River. I don't know what that... I don't know what that's in relation to after that.
Okay. Basically, ahead of its international release next weekend, there has been a trailer put up online for the Basque language dramatic horror movie All the Moons. Now, this is a film from Filmax, and this is the part that got me interested. Who are the company behind the Wreck films, as well as Sleep Tight, Muse, Summer Camp, and In Darkness. This film is from writer-director Igor Legoretta, who did When You No Longer Love Me. And this is going to be... All right, this is an interesting one. This is going to be a fantasy vampire movie set in 19th century kind of Spain. And it's during the last years of the Carlist War. A little girl is rescued from an orphanage that's kind of been hit by cannon fire. Turns out her rescuer is... Well, the girl thinks she's an angel, but it turns out she's actually a vampire, and she's turned the little girl. So, you know, the things kind of happen. They end up getting separated. The girl runs into this farmer who takes her in as his own daughter, and she kind of starts to think, okay, well, you know, all this mad shit happened, but maybe I can kind of start to have a normal life. And then, of course, that goes pear-shaped, because if there's one thing you can guarantee on in Spain in the 19th century is that at one point or another, people are going to run afoul of the Spanish church. Not the Inquisition this time, because that was before that, but, you know, still the Spanish church, and a vampire in a church is not going to be a good day.
Customarily, no.
I took a look at the trailer earlier. Yeah, I took a look at the trailer earlier, and while it's not English subtitled, the trailer, it does look like an interesting film.
I'm getting
certainly reminiscent of the kind of
Pan's Labyrinth vibes.
No, there's not that kind of like misleading fantasy aspect. This time, I think the story is actually going to be what you said on the time, you know. But it's interesting because we've seen stories before that have brushed over. Well, not really brushed over, I suppose. Interview with a Vampire really did take the whole child vampire thing properly, but this is a different dynamic. This I could almost see as being maybe a precursor to Let Me In.
Right.
Where we have, although that was a very different origin
you're
story
doing that
as
thing
well.
where you fantasy book things now.
Sorry, that's my brain.
Just to clarify, it's not actually a precursor to...
In any way, shape, or form. But I was saying that film would work in that same vein, whereby we see a child who is all of a sudden become an immortal monster before they've even had a chance to experience life.
Yeah.
They're dead and now stuck this way. So I'm not quite sure when it's... Yeah, it says there's an international release for next weekend. Not sure of an exact date. But for anyone that's interested, if you want to check out the trailer, it is up on YouTube. And like I said, it does look interesting, I think.
Right, and on to our last news bit, which is a chick in a prison. What's going on there?
It's not actually a chick in a prison. That was just the only picture available that I sent on. There's an upcoming, is it a comedy horror? Yeah, comedy horror series that is set to star Courtney Cox along with Mira Sorvino, who is the chick in the prison in the picture that I sent on. The half-hour horror comedy is going to be coming from creator of The Divorce, Sharon Horrigan, and Trial and Error co-creator Jeff Astor. It's going to be called Shining Veil. Sorry, I was lost there for a minute. I knew there was a name for the series itself, and I managed to completely bypass it there for a minute. Written by Horrigan and Astoff, Shining Veil is about a dysfunctional family that moves from the city to a small town into a house which terrible atrocities have taken place. But no one seems to notice them except for Pat, played by Courtney Cox, the mother, who's convinced she's either depressed or possessed, which turns out kind of have the exact same symptoms. Everyone has their demons, but are Pat's real, or is this portrait of a typical family torn apart by mental illness? Deadline details that Mira Sorvino will play Rosemary, who is either Pat's alter ego, a split personality, her aide, her muse, or an actual demon trying to possess her. So I imagine Mira Sorvino's character is probably going to be hilarious in that kind of trippy, does anyone else see this shit happening kind of a way, or am I going loopy? But
Horror Fight Club.
Yes, potentially, yes. A little bit more lighthearted, I think, but yes.
Is Mr. Fincher directing it?
Not as far as I can see.
There's a whole load of potential for it to be quite lighthearted.
Yeah, well, I imagine the people that did, Divorce and Trial and Error are probably very lighthearted, humorous kind of people with a touch of drama to get you interested. I'm sure there'll be lots of family-orientated hijinks with perilous consequences. Actually, I'm just hoping that Mira Sorvino is hilarious in it.
She probably will be, if it's supposed to be a comedy. Anyway, that's the news bits, I think, is it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. All the news.
All right, cool. We'll get back to
normal
studio mode now, and we're going to start reviewing some movies. Back in a sec. And we're back. There we go. So that was the news. Good times.
I'm very excited about the Pacific Rim cartoon.
The Pacific Rim thing. Dubious or not. Rabbit, what's going on? How are you? Dubiousness aside, I'm still down for it.
I don't know. Did you intentionally call it a specific ring?
I said specific rim. I didn't say...
okay.
Did I say specific ring?
I thought you did.
I've been watching a lot of horror porn for next week's episode, so I could have said it.
It's going to be hilarious. Whew. Anyway, up to the first film on the chopping block.
I'm just trying to acquire the trailer here momentarily. But anyway, first film up on the chopping block is from 2021, i.e. this year. We got I Am Lisa. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, I Am Lisa. I Am Lisa is 2021, or is it 2020?
No, it was... Yeah, it was kind of the late end of 2020, really. Well, that was... Yeah. was on digital. No, it was on digital since August of 2020. Oh, I just didn't spot it until the late end of 2020. My bad.
All right. Yeah, so Lisa is a lady, and she's moved back to her grandmother's hometown after the grandmother dies, and she's left her a bookshop, and she takes over ownership and runningship of said bookshop. Pardon my language, but unfortunately for her, the little old town she's living in are full of cunts.
Well, to be fair, it's mainly just the town sheriff, her bitch daughter, and all the associated hangers-on of bitch daughter.
Seems to just let the bitch daughter and all associated people just kind of seem to do what they want. Bar one sassy lady who smacks her straight upside the fucking face, which made me go, ha ha, because I liked it.
Yeah, yeah. And we do find out later on the reason that she's able to.
But, yeah. So, anyway, Lisa, unfortunately, has run afoul of a young lady whose name I can't remember right now. Jessica.
The sheriff's daughter. The sheriff's drug-dealing daughter.
Yes, she's the sheriff's drug-dealing daughter, and she's kind of a head, she's the head of what I'd like to call a hoodlum of hotties. Fair?
I like that description. Who
they they just go around terrorizing the town and stuff, and for no discernible reason that we know, bar the fact they just kind of didn't like her before she left, and definitely still don't like her when she came back.
Well, one of them, actually, I think it's kind of the putting on the pigtails, except it's gotten to that little bit escalated level.
There's a little bit of that. There's also a little bit of Jessica's a psycho.
Yeah, but like I think I think the whole reason for it is the whole over the top pulling of the pigtails because of the way that she goes back around, and that happens twice. It's not just the one stop to piss her off.
That particular scene, which, as I said, this movie's not out super long, so we're not going to like get full blown plot ruining into it. But that particular scene, I read a slightly different way. I thought that was a bit of head fuckery, to be honest.
At first, I did.
And a little bit of prison looked the size of my Weibos.
Honestly, I thought it was head fuckery as well at first, until later on a couple of things happened. It's like, oh, I get it. Like I was kind of like, what if it's this? And then a couple of things happened later on. I was like, I think it actually was that. She actually was into her, but it's just she has no other way of doing things because this is how she interacts with pretty much everyone in her life.
Hunting them up, old school style. So anyway, she robs a very expensive copy of A Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange.
You know, hey, if you're going to rob a book, go for that one.
Plus, I liked how Lisa looked and went, that one actually suits you.
Yes. There's a lot of smart dialogue in this.
Yeah.
So things escalate. Some advances are made. A conversation is had with Lisa's mother, or Jessica's mother, to try and calm the situation. Unfortunately, Jessica's mother is also a super cunt, and even double unfortunately, is the sheriff of the whole town. And her fucking psycho son is the deputy sheriff. And kind of unofficially, Lisa and her fucking hoodlum of hotties are also unofficial deputies because they run around and do mama's work whenever work is needed. And mama is documentedly known for cleaning up young Jessica's messes after her and erasing people.
Yeah, I think it's the interesting dynamic of I'm the sheriff, therefore I am in charge of the crime in this community. The crime happens the way I say it happens, or it doesn't happen at all.
Any fucking ganj, you get it off my daughter because she's got the best screen in town.
And I get a piece of the action.
You can imagine that mummy is none too pleased when Lisa comes into the police station complaining about said daughter. And as you can see going on in the trailer right now, smacks her upside the fucking head, beats the ever-loving fucking piss out of her, and then gets old fucking Gingerbeard and the hoodlum of hotties to drag what is now a rather beaten up Lisa and a rather horrible group of people out to the woods, where they just leave Lisa there. The wolves will sort her out. Unfortunately for Lisa, a special wolf arrives on a full moon and gives her a wee bitey in the ankle. And Lisa comes to in a lady's house who we've seen earlier in the movie who smacks a young Jessica upside the head. My hero. And
Yep.
she then notices she's recovering quite quickly, and all of her cuts and bruises are disappearing rather rapidly. And she's getting a taste for a lot of red-meated, bloody, steaky products, even though she was customarily known to be quite the vegan.
Yeah, as her friend put it, so no longer a vegetarian. Then I think we should kind of leave it there insofar as details, because people will probably figure it out.
That's the end of the plot for me. Well, I'm pretty sure people can figure out what's going on.
But I really like how the friend was just like, okay, so this is the situation. Okay, then I'm just gonna, something happened, and she just looked and went, you know what I'm gonna do? And walked out of the room. Is just like, I'm keeping my mouth shut about all of this. You're my friend. I'm sticking by you.
As we said earlier, it's essentially it's the same kind of vibe as I Spit in Your Grave or Last House on the Left kind of thing, but with a werewolf. Yes. I don't mind saying that because you can blatantly see her go wolfy in the trailer, so I have no issues mentioning that bit. But yeah.
Vengeance. I liked how they had pretty decent rules in regards to dealing with a werewolf.
They were standard, and it's been so long since I've just seen some standard fucking rules for a werewolf. They don't like silver.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with them on a full moon. Those kind of.
Nothing lives without a head, and if it does, set its ass on fire.
Or both.
Yes, in this case.
Nocturnal canine double tap, for lack of a better description.
There was also
chop its head off and then light everything up.
Yeah, I also liked there was an interesting way that they dealt with the change, and it's kind of like, well, when it happens properly, either this is going to happen or this is going to happen, but we're not sure which until it actually happens. So strap in. This is going to be fun,
and it is fun. It's a little bit kind of slow in the middle, not like ball-breakingly slow. Just kind of it takes a little bit of time for shit to develop once she.
Yeah, but I think because you know what direction it's going in, it's kind of like, okay, we accept this. And like I said, it's handled very intelligently in regards to the research part of it.
I agree with you there as well, that it's just, you kind of go in, like, if you've seen the trailer, you kind of know what you're in for with this one. And, there's kind of a lot of talking and stuff before all of the cool shit starts to happen, where you are, I found myself a little bit like, yes, we know all the rules of vampires, yada, yada, yada. Get to killing people, please. Come on. Start hacking people up. And she does. So that's fine. It was okay. My bloodthirst was satiated. This is shot really nicely. There was a really cool soundtrack behind it. Even some of the original band music was stuff. Special effects were cool.
It was like they didn't do.
Bugged by the fact she looked more like a vampire than a werewolf, in my opinion.
But that was also kind of explained over the course of the film.
Predominantly practical effects.
Yeah, like that's one of the things. Like they didn't go overboard with stuff. It's I like it when it's subtle but proper. You do the subtle stuff and it works well. And a lot of this film was just really intelligent dialogue, witty dialogue, clever responses.
Yeah, like Lisa.
There wasn't a lot of
written dialogue as well. Like Lisa and the friend, I found to be quite a believable friendship. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you were to put the two of them in a bar and like say, they're out in a bar in character, I would totally believe the two of them were best friends for 20, 30 years or whatever. Not 30 years.
It's overall.
Yeah, she's
they're not that old,
isn't
it? Yeah, it's early to mid 20s.
But
actually, no, most likely mid to late 20s, because she had a degree in archival.
I was thinking that as well, because I was like, and the
something else
is
techniques.
a proper intern, or the friend is a proper intern. It's like you don't get their early 20s. But I Am Lisa, out since August, you said. Am I correct?
Yeah, I got a digital release on August 28th, 2020.
Yeah.
So It is
If you're
floating
looking
around for
a
anyone
little
interested.
bit of werewolf-styled entertainment in a guise that you may not have seen it in particularly before, this is it. It's quite good, quite enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a revenge film, but done from a slightly different angle and just very well written, very enjoyable to watch, as much as a revenge film can be enjoyable, I suppose, when it comes to the dialogue and the way things are handled, and just looks really nice.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah, okay, do you want to do your star rating now, or do you want to wait till after the trailer?
We'll suppose
Okay,
wait till after the trailer.
Right. Do you have anything else to add, or will we just jump to the trailer?
No, I think I've pretty much.
Cool. We're going to
covered
hit you with the trailer for I Am Lisa. Not me, I'm Johnny. But the trailer is I Am Lisa. And we will be back in a minute or two. Talk to you in a sec.
Well, you've heard, haven't you? We've been hunting wolves for years. Most folks turn permanently. Others return to being human the next day. Last one we had like that escaped recently.
Did my other book come in yet?
There you go. Hope you don't mind. I read some of it.
What'd you think?
I don't really believe in the supernatural stuff.
Maybe what some consider supernatural is simply unexplained scientific phenomena.
Okay, everybody, it's closing time.
Jessica came into my store with some of her friends. She assaulted me.
How?
You gonna cry now?
Ain't soft, nobody got hit.
You seem to have a bit of an attitude problem.
She put her hands on me too, Mom.
Well, maybe you're the one that committed assault, huh, Lisa?
Why don't you tell me what really happened?
I'd rather not. Make sure you finish the lesson.
I'll never feel whole again. They're gonna suffer.
Studio. Yep, that was the trailer for I Am Lisa. So yeah, definitely go check that one out. It's quite enjoyable.
Yeah, it's something I heard about a while ago, and I kind of liked the idea of. And I'm not going to lie, when I was putting it on, I hope this is as good as I was hoping for.
We've seen the revenge movie done a million times, and we've seen the werewolf movie done a million times. You don't customarily get to see them slammed into each other. And it was an interesting...
Yeah, and it's just... Yeah, it was just... I enjoyed the approach that was taken. It was very... as lighthearted as something like this can get, I suppose.
Very good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a nice, fun, lighthearted movie until it isn't.
Yeah, those parts that it isn't, like, you're kind of like, oh, you really, you feel, I'm not going to lie, man, as soon as it starts off, it's kind of like, oh my God, she's this cute little book nerd, she's awesome, and oh, what are you doing to her? Stop it.
You leave Lisa alone.
Yeah, and then later on, it's kind of like, oh, and now she's this cute little book nerd that's also a killer werewolf chick. That's, hello.
Yep.
But, overall, like I said, it's the easy dialogue, I think, and like you said, the easy chemistry between the characters, especially between Sam and Lisa, the friend, and then the way that they interact with the sheriff and her cronies, I suppose, for want of a better word. But yeah, no, good film. I liked it.
What are we GoreCastering? I will. I know I said I was going to do it, but I will get around to it eventually, where we'll start having posts after each show with the ratings and things like that. I'm just trying to figure out aesthetically how we're going to go about it. But yeah, do you have a star rating? Or a GoreCast logo rating, whatever one it's going to It'll be some sort of rating.
All things being equal, I think I'm going to have to give it 2 gores out of
2 out of 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There was only one part in the entire film where logic made me go, what? But then my brain kind of kicked in and kind of went, he could have been doing this, but they didn't show it. But no, stop doing that thing where you fill in the blanks.
Yeah, you do that a lot. You make a lot of movies better. Yeah.
Better in my head.
Yeah, but see, this happens and this happens. No, maybe that happens. We have no actual cinematic evidence to prove this has happened. You have literally written a 2-star movie and just rated it yourself. I would say I'm probably going to go... probably go about 1. 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1. Yeah, 1. Maybe 1.5. I can't settle on it right now. When I do the post, I will settle on it for definite. But 1 or 1.5.
So overall, we're going between 3 and 3.5 scores for this one.
3 and 3.5
Sounds
scores for
right.
this one. Right. Next up, we have a young lady who works at a radio station and happens to, a middle-aged lady who works at a radio station. I was trying to be nice.
Unfortunately, it's kind of predominant to the storyline that point. Otherwise, I would agree.
A middle-aged lady who is working at a radio station. She's getting ready for retirement and all those kinds of things. She's on her way to the radio station. She unfortunately gets nipped in the neck by a wee batterino.
To be fair, she also doesn't know that she's getting ready for retirement. She just thinks it's another night at the office.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at the DJ station. She's the host of a punk show called 10 Minutes to Midnight, and she has been for the last 30 years.
If there was ever a time
but
to hit the trailer,
unfortunately,
that's
Bob,
it,
or Robert, or...
Segue.
But it seems that the head of the station, Robert, or call me Bob, has decided he'd like some new blood in the form of, where is she? Sienna, who is, quite literally 30 years younger than Amy.
They literally are trading her in for a hotter model.
Host of...
That, literally.
Yeah, and Bob makes no qualms
Doesn't
about
give
the
a
fact
shit.
that's what he's trying to do.
Bob's a realist.
Nope, does not
Bob's
give a smell.
We're on a radio station, a titties sell.
But,
that makes no sense, Bob.
What? But unfortunately, Amy has been bitten by a vampire, and it seems to have, by a bat, and it seems to, and that's the thing. She was bitten by a bat, and the security guy, what's the security guy's name? Is it
the
Aaron?
guy with
no, not Aaron.
Face
Ernie.
accessories.
He
is technically also the security guy
Ernie's
at one
the
point.
security guy, I think.
It
gets but the security guy is very leaning towards maybe it was rabies, maybe this is what happened, maybe this is what happened, maybe this is what happened. If you have this, could be this, could be this. But the whole time he's whittling down a fucking piece of wood like it's a steak. It's like, okay. But Amy quickly realizes what's going on with Sienna and doesn't like it and has a bit of a blip out and starts to have a mental spiral. And over the course of the movie, we're not quite sure what's real and what's just rabies. In her head. And we're never sure if it's because she's gotten rabies and her brain is all fucked up, or because she's gotten vampirism and her brain is all fucked up. Because she does do it. Yeah, she does do a little bit of biting, but that could also be put down to aggressive behavior under the situation.
With rabies, as when we did our vampire episode for American Horrors, people with rabies were quite frequently mistaken for vampires back in the 1800s. Because you get highly photosensitive and kind of develop a penchant for just biting anything that will get within reach.
Unfortunately, because of a storm, everybody is trapped at the radio station for the night, so everybody has to basically try and survive. Survive Amy's descent into madness and potential
Amy's
vampirism.
Defense against crazy things that are going on in the studio. depending on
Yeah.
what way you go with it.
Yeah. Yeah, this film intentionally, I think, is a bit of a headfuck because there's all these subtle clues that this is happening, but at the same time, there's all this other evidence that actually this is what's happening over here. So at the end of things, the only thing you know for certain is that something happened. A lot of people ended up getting, like, yeah, it's just,
I won't lie to you.
It's a fun film.
One of the things that bugged me about this movie is and you're going to have to bear with me on this. There can be predictability within the unpredictable sometimes. Do you know what I mean? And the minute I saw the bite bat, and I was about maybe 5 minutes in, you could kind of start getting she's going a bit crazy or whatever. I was like, well, spank my ass and call me Charlie, but call me crazy. I feel it's going to turn out that she probably had a mental breakdown and murdered everyone in the studio. And then I was like,
but we're still not sure.
I feel out of all of the bits of story that happened throughout the night, that's probably one of the more conclusive bits of evidence, as it's viewed by a person who is literally nothing to do with the prior situation going on. I will say this is absolutely gorgeous looking. It looks very pretty the entire way through.
And there's, like I said, part of maybe it's just me, but I enjoyed some of the things they did in regards how they showed the head fuck
very
aspect
smart,
of things.
like shots and cinematography and stuff used to kind of accentuate how crazy she's going. It's just that I like a little bit of cohesiveness to what's going on, and it just felt like a lot of random.
I guess that was. I mean, there wasn't any point where I was sitting there going, "What's going on?" I was always sitting there looking at the film, going, "It's either A or it's B." You know, there was never a "I don't know what the fudge is going on" kind of situation. And for me, it was just some of the elements that were used to illustrate how she was trying to deal with the situation. In regards, the thing with the telephone, I thought was very good. You know, especially because if you're reading into the situation, it's clearly like an inner voice.
Well, it's
so
definitely an inner voice. Like,
you know,
the way that's even shot is shot like she's speaking to herself or some unknown entity or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's very much arranged by design.
But like, it was, and it was things like that I found like the best part. The story's good, and I like the fact that there is that duality because of evidence and because of the way that, you know, conjecture is pointing you with what you're seeing. And, you know, as descents into madness go, I think it was done pretty well. And it was paced decently enough, and at a film that's an hour and 12 minutes, it's not like you're sitting there for ages kind of going, okay, we get it, she's going nuts. You know, it's moving along. There's stuff that's happening all the time.
With this movie. Like when I got to the end of it and I realized it was only an hour and 12 minutes, I was like, really? What the fuck? And it wasn't just me. I had someone watching with me as well. But Pam was watching with me, you know.
Fair enough.
As I said, I really enjoy, like, soundtrack behind all of this is absolutely fucking great because it's all really cool fucking rock music and stuff going on the whole time. I actually did quite enjoy the characters for the most part. Some of the quirkiness of some of them is absolutely great. I just found that some of the stuff, while very competently shot and some very, very intelligent ways of putting across what she's going through visually, I did find a lot of just really good, pretty with no substance for some bits.
Mm-hmm. Just briefly, because you reminded me of it there, something I meant to mention when we were talking about I Am Lisa. When we were watching the film, there's the scene in the bookstore, and when she's going out to meet her friend, there was a song playing. And I was sitting there listening to it, kind of going,
yes, I know the song you're on about as well.
And I checked it at the end. Yeah, I checked it at the end and I was like, yes, I was right. And it was a really good cover of Wolf Moon by Typo Negative. So, yeah, no, sorry. But yes, I agree with the fact that this film, like the music was great. I understand what you mean by, it's, kind of slowing down and pacing maybe a little bit in the middle of it once.
Like the granddaddy, is it the granddaddy? Definitely one of the top watching someone lose their fucking marbles style movie, which is Jacob's Ladder. While you're on this mad mental mind warping trip that he is going through, you still get a lot of closure as to what's substantially going on by the end of the movie. Whereas outside of the obvious in this, you're a little bit like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, as I said, there is the obvious at the end, which is, it's like, I can't think of how else that could be interpreted.
What if, it's entirely possible that the entire idea of this was literally to be about that point in regards to the historical thing with rabies and people mistaking stuff.
Yeah, true. That did cross my mind. It's one of the reasons I mentioned it. But this just didn't 100% click with me for some reason. I just can't exactly put my finger on it, because there's a whole lot I really do genuinely like about the movie. It's just something about it. The overall package just didn't land with me, basically, I suppose. Yeah,
maybe.
Well, there's no maybe. That's my opinion. I'm just telling you. Yeah.
No, sorry. I'm seeing things in my head in regards to some of the scenes that you might be talking about, and I can understand where your point is.
It's this isn't like a fucking shit show of a fucking movie. Like, this is very, very well shot. Looks great. Actors, everyone did a really, really good job. To be honest, it's just I can't put my finger on it. It's just something with the story just didn't fully. It could be one of those ones where if I watch it a second time, there might be some little link in the chain that I missed or something, and I'd be like, gee, with your fucking thing, But yeah. So, that's it for me. I would still say watch this. I'm not saying don't avoid at all costs. It's still it's an entertaining movie. You will be left thinking a little bit. As I said, just some of the stuff I was a little bit on. I think it was just the fact I literally called the ending 5 minutes in. I was just like, oh. It fucks sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not going to lie. There was a part at one point where I was actually kind of going, I wonder if maybe Sienna was the bat outside, and then something else happened. I was like, no, kids, that's stupid. Clearly you were right with your initial. It's either A or it's B.
Anyway, we'll be back with our ratings for 10 minutes to midnight after we give you guys a bit of a whack for the trailer. Enjoy, because the trailer's a fucking hoot. Right, we'll be back in a sec.
My mom used to play the radio while I fell asleep. Usually she'd turn it off once I conked out, but sometimes she'd forget. And there you were. Whenever I heard your voice, I knew it was so far past my bedtime. Just felt like I was getting away with something.
I am the one who convinced Bob to give you one last show.
You got bit by a wild animal tonight. Who knows what kind of diseases those things are carrying?
You sure you're not seeing anything, Amy? Anything that's not really there? Oh! There's Amy!
You want to bite me again, Amy Marlowe?
Look at me! Hey! It's just one of those nights.
There's never been a night like this one.
You're losing it, Amy. Everyone is saying so.
all you, Amy, I promise.
Strange thing, your last day. And anything, really. Everything's the same. Till it's not.
Right, that was the trailer for 10 Minutes to Midnight. God, I fucking blanked there for a second. Yeah, that was the trailer for 10 Minutes to Midnight. As I said, you can literally tell, awesome. Neon drenched everything. Awesome. Music drenched everything. Visuals, good. Acting, good. Story, okay. But quite good in some places. Yeah, I'm torn on this one.
And nice. I was watching the trailer back, and there was a couple of things that kind of popped into my head, but I can see what you mean. It's laces, and they're all good. It's just, I think it's because the story by design gets a little bit incoherent at times, and it does. It's a weird one because it's supposed to be like that, and I get what they're supposed to do. But at the same time, I can see where it could throw viewers off. They're like, what am I watching? What? I don't get it.
Look,
you know?
Here's the thing. It throws you off in a weird way because it, as I said, there's this, there can be an odd predictability within the unpredictable sometimes. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, there's a lot of very obvious story beats as to what's going on throughout her mental mind trip, but the mental mind trip tries to throw you off those story beats that are kind of a little bit being made quite obvious as to what's going on, and it becomes a little bit disjointed because it's like, am I supposed to be following this track or am I supposed to be following that track? Because you're very much telling me it's this, but then there's shit happening around it that's very much making it look like, oh wait, maybe she's not the one with the, they're all the, you know, it just gets a little bit zany, I suppose, or something like that. Rating for it?
I'm going to go 1.5.
I'm going to give officially. I'm going to give I Am Lisa 1.5, and this is getting a 1. And I Am Lisa is getting 1.5 specifically because I don't think this deserves a half out of 2.
Yeah,
but I definitely don't think it deserves 2 out of 2.
No,
and I don't think I Am Lisa deserves 2 out of 2 either. So that's my.
I just really enjoyed the story for that one. But yeah.
Yeah. Moving on to a movie I don't mind giving a half a star, just a fuck start.
Oh my.
Oh,
God.
baby. Okay. Midnight. We're frozen up for a second. Computer lag. Just give it a second there now. We're back.
Yeah. Before we begin, I would just like to say that while I was aware of the franchise, I had never seen any of the previous movies, and I am also aware that this is nothing like the previous films anyway, due to other people saying it and the fact that we had the conversation a while ago.
Yes. Midnight had said in the chat earlier he saw this on his birthday and was quite interested to see what our thoughts on it were. And that is the 2021 reboot of... Also, happy birthday, Midnight, because that's obviously happened in the last 2 months.
Happy birthday.
He saw it in the cinema. So, yeah, that's the Wrong Turn reboot from this year, 2021. Whew. So, glaringly off the bat, one of my major issues with this... Okay, so quick plot synopsis as to what's going on. There's a bunch of teenagers. They go off to this town up near the
Well, they're not.
It's a bunch of early...
They're not teenagers, to be fair.
I say
they're
teenagers just to set the tone, if you know what I mean. Okay, fine. It's a bunch of early 20-somethings. Some are finished college, some are just finishing college, and some of them are already out in the workforce. Is that more on tone for you? Cool. They've all decided to fucking take a wander up to the Appalachian Mountains and fucking have there's some really nice woods up there, and I'd love to do some hiking, and we'll go to this town, it'll be all good. So, as you can imagine, all those city slickers within fucking a minute's time have been in town, have pissed off half the fucking locals, And none of them like him, outside of one lady who owns a B&B who's a quite lovely woman. They go off on the trail. They have been told specifically, stay to the trail. Don't wander off the trail. The woods have a way of eating people up. Stay on the trail.
Because it's God's dangerous country.
There's bears, there's wolves, there's fucking lions and tigers and fucking
cliff
thingies,
edges.
oh my, whatever. I was just trying to get a Wizard of Oz line in there, to be honest. Well, you know what? There probably is a mountain lion. There is no tigers. You'll definitely get a mountain leopard or a jaguar or something like that. Yeah, there's some big kitties and big doggies out in the woods, and bears, which is, from what I've learned from playing DayZ, even in a zombie apocalypse, bears are what you need to fucking worry about. Fuck the zombies. Zombies can't run through your car. Bears can.
What about zombie bears?
Well, they're just fucked. Really?
Game of Thrones,
fucked.
Dude.
Just,
fucked.
Fucked. There's no way, no easier way of describing that. Just fucked. If bear's bad enough. So, as you can imagine, because they're a bunch of young 20-somethings and they've got iPhones, and iPhones have GPS, and sure, look, fuck it. Fuck the trail. I want to go see some stuff.
There's some fort that one of them wants to take a look at.
Literally 40 minutes later, one of them's creamed by a fucking mysterious log that has gone rolling down a hill. And shit escalates from there for them as they are essentially wrangled up by a lost. Land themselves in a lot of trouble by judging books by their cover.
Oh yeah, that's oh my god.
We'll get into that in a minute at the end of the thing. Needless to say, they run into, and here's where the discrepancy between what you're going to be expecting from Wrong Turn and what we're going to get. They run into a bunch of, I'm going to say, Nordic-style cultists.
I feel the word cultist. I feel the word cultist is wrong. Community.
Yeah.
Community is the best word I would put on it.
Yeah.
They're a community that have chosen to live off the land in a certain way, that dates back hundreds of years.
I was reluctant to say cultist until I got to the end of the movie and how possessive he was about wifey, and I was just like, it's a little bit cult leadery, isn't it?
It's also old school community leadery as well when you look at
yeah. So they run into a bunch of skull wearing communityists.
Locals.
Actual locals. Proper fucking locals. You see, there's also a name for them though, which is where I get the culty vibe from. Sorry. The Foundation.
Oh, no, that's not what they call themselves.
No, he literally
People...
he literally used that description to them during their trial. We are the Foundation. And then yeah. And then he explained all of the stuff about why the Foundation is good, the Foundation is great. Cult. Albeit a Viking cult, because I do get Viking vibes. Yeah. I even think they were talking Norse or something.
Well, if you went back to when the whole point is that you had, I think it was 6 or 12 families that decided that America was changing. They didn't want to be part of that change because it would only lead to an apocalypse. So they were fucking off up into the hills.
Can I just point out, with the line you just described there, where are you having my issue with cult?
Because one person's cult is another person's community that live by a very strict set of laws and beliefs.
Hey man, if you're able to call,
I feel there's
able to call Christianity the cult of Christ as much as we regularly do, this is definitely a fucking cult.
I didn't see any adherence to any kind
Deity.
of spiritual.
Yeah, they don't need to. They worship the fucking head guy.
I don't think they worshipped
do
him,
it.
just he was in charge.
Doesn't always need to be a fucking god, man.
This is true. Look, to be fair, as far as I'm concerned, the structure they had, I would equate to any kind of middle-aged society, or like you were saying, Viking or Norse society, based on the speech patterns, which I was getting to, would have been derived from. There would have been a lot of, where were they from? There would have been Finnish and things like that, who would have been part of the founders.
So Norse. Have you frozen up on me? Giz is frozen up on me. Okay, well, I'll keep talking for a minute. Yeah, so, where was I? Yeah, so they run into these cultists, and lo and behold, that doesn't go well at all for them. And a whole bunch of shit goes down. Parents go looking for the kids. And all in all, I can't say that I was overly blown away with this movie by any means whatsoever.
Okay, and I'm back again.
You're back. Yeah, I just kept chugging on. I was saying I wasn't particularly blown away with this movie. And no, you're not. You're here. You're here?
Yeah, I'm back, I think.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I've been telling you're back for the last 30 seconds. You keep talking over me. You're back.
Okay,
yeah,
cool. And I wasn't actually, because it had cut out again from my side.
Yes. Anyway, big issue with this movie, and it's one of the things that, God damn it, I'm actually getting sick of this with these fucking reboots and stuff like that. That it's this has nothing. This is, to me, this is on par with Black Christmas 2019 or 2020.
The last one they did.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 2019. It was going into, yes, because it was before all the shit of COVID had happened.
Yeah.
This is literally on par with Black Christmas for me, because this seems like someone wrote a whole different movie, probably called The Foundation, and they were like, "Nah, I don't think we can sell that." Hey, do you know what we haven't done in a while? Wrong Turn. Wasn't that about a bunch of fucking mutated fucking hillbillies that were off in the woods that used to chase down people and fucking all that territorial fucking kind of thing? Hills Have Eyes style kind of shit going on. Yeah. But these guys live in the woods as well. You know what I mean? So they're like hillbillies, except they're not hillbillies. But they live in the woods and they hunt stuff. So, we can just slap the old Wrong Turn logo on that and lash it out. Which was the same as Black Christmas. Black Christmas 2019 was the exact same thing. It was like, okay, I like the story, but people like stuff that they've seen. And what I'm hearing is there's a bunch of girls at college that are getting murdered at Christmas. And there's another series of movies about a bunch of girls at college getting murdered at Christmas called Black Christmas. So we should slap that name on that. But this is about a cult that are murdering all the girls in the school. Look, semantics. What people are focused on is girls in college, Christmas, murder, Black Christmas.
I doubt that was even said at Christmas originally.
There's a couple of bits of dialogue that's like the whole reason the girls are still in the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it comes, it's the same as this. Look, this seems like literally they were like, "Look, we got Crazy Mountain, man. Let's just call it."
Well, look, the way I see it is, right, I haven't seen any of the other Wrong Turn movies. In fact, all I knew about them was that people get lost in the woods, run afoul of people they shouldn't run afoul of, and end up getting murdered horribly in gory and visceral ways. The cannibals thing, I was like, oh, cool, they're cannibals, fair enough. This film, for me, having not seen any of the other Wrong Turn movies, my biggest issue was I was watching, it was kind of like, okay, this is the kind of film it is. Wow, that's getting off really fast, and we're slowing down again. And was this film written by two different people or something? And it wasn't. I checked. It's actually one guy that wrote it. But it just feels like he wrote two different stories and decided to mash them together for some reason. And then, like you said, they decided to stick Wrong Turn on it because it would get people to watch it.
There's times with some of these fucking movies, man, and I swear to God that the way they've done the script is, okay, let's script all of this action stuff, okay? How much time does that take? 45 minutes? Okay, movies are about 2 hours now, so we're going to need to write us some dialogue to fill out another hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, but we kind of have all of the storyline stuff summed up with the dialogue and the things that lead into the stuff already. Yeah, but that's 45 minutes. We need another hour on that, bitch. So you better get writing, because those fuckers are going to be talking. I don't mind telling you. And I don't mind talking in movies. It's a very crucial part to the actual whole filmmaking process, unless you're back in the fucking 40s when, you know, train tracks just kind of do their thing or whatever. But, you know, nah, get on, but, I have an issue when the dialogue has fuck all to do with what's fucking going on. What's so fucking ever. And if I have to see that fucking bitch selfie one more fucking time, I'd have fucked her phone off the cliff. I won't lie to you. I nearly fell off the cliff. You're a fucking asshole. You bring me off the trail and I nearly fell off the cliff. Take your fucking head out of your fucking phone while you're walking around dangerous territory, you fucking numpty. Sorry. That was pent up for a little bit there.
You good? Cool. I was going to say there's a couple of things.
Screenwriter's the same guy that wrote the first Wrong Turn? Are you fucking shitting me? Sorry.
What the fuck?
Fun fact, the screenwriter is the same screenwriter from the original Wrong Turn movie.
Oh, he took a wrong turn on this fucking script.
Go on. What were you saying?
Oh, yeah, no, I like the idea of I actually did like the idea of the community with the rules and the trial and all the rest of it. And the idea that it wasn't just the idea that the entire thing was set off primarily because one guy was a loudmouth fucking dipstick who thought he knew everything and in actuality knew fucking nothing, and the entire situation could have easily been avoided by simply not paying attention to that fucker, not going where that stupid motherfucker went, and actually following the goddamn fucking trail.
To set off a series of events in a horror movie. I'm completely aware of how these things go. How all of this went down was so... I don't think it would happen in real life.
There's no possible way one person could be that deliberately fucking
don't get me wrong. I'm aware the guys have skulls on their heads and they have ghillie suits, but at no point...
But then they also put their goddamn hands up and fucking
and we're
back
trying
the fuck
to
away.
communicate. They don't speak the same fucking language, but they were trying to fucking communicate. Do you know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. I can see how I can see their side of it as well to a certain degree, how the situation might have been misread to a certain degree. But when you got two dudes like this who have fucking weapons on them, by the way, and you don't, and they're visibly not trying to fucking kill you with the weapons and trying to open a line of dialogue, you don't bash one of their fucking skulls in with a fucking log. Maybe try and be like, where are you bringing my mate? Your friend's knocked the fuck out, and he's not going to survive up here, knocked the fuck out. We're going to drop him at the end of the fucking hill. And one of the lads...
By the way, maybe you might like to follow us.
Because I won't lie to you. You have no fucking hope of making it out. It's fucking whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? So, this is another weird kind of scenario that arrives in the movie. You don't feel bad for the characters at all. At all. Like, I won't lie to you. I'm aware that they're crazy cultists or fucking Nordic fucking survivalists or whatever brand you want to put on them. But I can't help but feel they kind of brought it on themselves ever so fucking slightly. Or should I say, 100% completely.
One of them set off a booby trap in their little misadventure, and I actually, no word of a lie, was sitting there going, "Ha! Fucking deserved." And he wasn't even the one that was starting all the shit
nice
either.
Dude.
It was one of the other, it was one of the other. Well, he wasn't a nice dude, but it was one of the other guys doing something fucking like after things started going off. One of the other guys doing other stupid stuff. No.
Which booby trap are you on about?
The spike thing.
Sky?
They came down and got the boyfriend.
Right. Yeah, I did not like this movie at all.
It was just, it was like it didn't know what the fuck it wanted to do.
And I, as I said, this is something that production company needs to stop doing, where they just start slapping fucking names on shit. Although, I mean, it's obviously different if your man who wrote the original movie wrote this one. But it's like, dude, stop trying to cash in on the Wrong Turn name. This isn't a Wrong Turn movie. Like,
I don't know. Maybe this was a what?
Maybe
this was like a reject script, and then they kind of were fishing around and went, "Ooh, what's this?" It's by the same guy. It's roughly the same idea. That was a terrible idea. I threw it away. That's why I never went with that one the first time around. We can go with the second time around.
If you, the trailer's running there. Like, even all the branding is in 2003. Some people went into the woods in 2021. Wait, here is this. In 2021, we still haven't learned our lesson. But this is a different lesson, you see, because the people that we were taught to go in the woods is don't go in the woods. You're going to get mauled by a bunch of inbred, crazy fucking hillbillies, cannibals. Do you know what I mean?
This one is, if you're going to go into the woods and meet the locals,
bash them in the fucking skull.
Be polite. Don't draw stupid, erroneous conclusions because you're a goddamn muppet who thinks that everything they see on TV is real.
Oh, this movie... Yeah, this movie, it's the name on it, man, that really fucking bugged me. It really, like, as I said, if they'd called this The Facility, I would have found myself enjoying this a lot fucking more.
I wouldn't. It wouldn't have made sense if they called
not
it
the facility. The foundation. If they had called this The Foundation, I would have found myself enjoying this a whole lot more. There's still some glaring issues with the plot, period. Without Wrong Turn move.
But at least you wouldn't have had that.
Those slight annoyances with the plot that I have, I probably would have got over because the overall story was actually a really cool idea. Do you know what I mean? But parts of it were, yeah. Like, the second part. The first part was bullshit. But it was, you go in, when you put the name of something on something that people are very much used to, if you know what I mean. You go in with a certain preconceived notion as to what you're in store for. Which I'm always down for overting expectations and fucking throwing people aside and throwing them a sideball and everything like that and keep the story fresh and stuff. But this is just not a Wrong Turn movie.
I tell you, without giving away the ending, you know how a film doesn't know what it wants to be? When it has too many points when it has too many points where you're going, oh, so this is how the film's ending. No, this is how the film's ending. No, this is how the film's ending. Oh, this is how the film is ended. No, it's still going. Okay, so they decided to do that. All right, fair enough.
And I agree with you as well that the actual storyline itself, putting the Wrong Turn shit out of my brain for a minute, the story's very stop-start.
It's almost like the story is taking the wrong turn. It's kind of, we're going this way. Nope, we're going this way.
Yeah.
No, we meant to go that way.
It's just so drawn out in the middle and formulaic that it's like guy gets hit by log, mosey on, there's an argument between everyone, mosey on through the woods a little bit more, even though you should be just turning the fuck around and going home at this stage. But no, we'll mosey on down the woods a little bit more. Somebody else gets fucking wackadoodled.
I think the reason they moseyed on a little bit more was because after the whole log incident, they lost their bearings.
Rolled down the hill. Yeah, mosey on a little bit more. Someone else gets wackadoodled in some capacity. Everyone argues again. Mosey on through the woods a little bit more. And you can see the pattern until the people with the skulls on their heads show up.
Then everyone gets the wrong idea and does stupid.
And then you get to the ending. I'm calling it the ending of the movie because the ending goes on for like 20 minutes. But yeah, you get to the endings of the movie where it feels like, I agree with you that it feels like your man had the ending written, was lying in bed one night and was like, fuck, do you know what'd be great if she fucking X, Y, and a Z's after that? Yeah, well, we already shot. Do you remember we wrapped? Nah, fucking get him back. Be fine. Don't worry about it.
Except then the next night he woke up and went, oh, fuck, you know, it'd be cool if instead, after that, she actually went W.
We can't end on a dream sequence. Z. You fucking people hate when we end on a dream sequence. Okay, fine. Okay, so what if we X, Y, and a Z without ruining the movie for you? Yeah, wrong turn. If you're... The fifth and
took a wrong turn.
Was just garbage. I would agree with you on that, Midnight. So this film was refreshing to say the least about it. However, my biggest gripe is that it doesn't know where it wants to end. I totally agree. Well, you just heard us totally agree on that. There's like 4 times it should have ended. Yes. And it also shouldn't have been called a wrong turn movie.
As I said, I can't judge on that one because I haven't seen the other ones, but I just didn't enjoy this film.
Outside of the multiple endings that happen at the end, right? Tell me that you couldn't have just had these as been a bunch of fucking crazy cannibal hillbillies.
If it was, then it would have been, I reckon, 45 minutes shorter.
Well, no. Like, say the cannibal hillbillies have a bit of a society developed, but they're cannibal hillbillies. Do you know what I mean? Like, say, look at Green Inferno.
Yeah. I suppose the judgment thing, if that had led to cannibalism, then I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, like your man fucking, instead of doing what he does, he fucking eats, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you could have had crazy cannibals and kept it on brand, in my opinion, and still kept the same story beats.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. If they just put in that little bit, then you would have satisfied people like you going, this is not wrong turn. There isn't any cannibalism.
But it's not the cannibalism that it's not like I'm upset.
No.
As I said, I like the whole idea of this society. It's just that it's not a wrong turn movie.
No, that's my point. You know, if they'd put that in, if it had been a cannibalistic society that do it for certain reasons, then at least it would have fit in a bit better.
Yeah, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, say, that kind of thing, or do you know, there's kind of a slight hierarchy where it's like most of them are just inbred and stuff, but when you get up to Mama and Papa, you know what I mean? There's a kind of a hierarchy or so. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could have had it fucking, like, because it wasn't one crazy hillbilly chasing them around the woods and the other ones, so there's like a fucking pack of them.
Yeah.
You know, so foreseeably, if they're inbreeding up in the mountains for the space of time between movie 5 and movie 6, or movie 6 and movie 7, which is this one, you know, you could have a whole bunch of fucking hillbillies in a little kind of commune.
Well, they even could have gone along and done what they did here, whereby it's like a completely different place and a completely different society, just that they happen to be
like Green Inferno,
enjoying long pork whenever necessary.
Do you know what I mean? And banging their cousins, or whatever it is that leads to the mutations and things like that. But yeah, there was a little too much sophistication in this for it to be a wrong turn movie, and a little too much lack of plot and lack of fucking direction for it to be a good movie.
Yeah.
On the good points, when it gets gory, the gore is good. I was glad that they leaned away from what could have gone found footagey for a section because everyone had fucking phones out 24/7.
I didn't. I don't think I was ever in any worry that it was going to take that line. To be fair,
you never know these days, man.
Yeah, I honestly, for me, the best thing about this film was just the look and the layout of the foundation themselves, the community. Like I said, if there had been,
do you know what confuddled the fuck out of me as well?
What?
The main girl. How long were they there?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Okay. Because she went in not a ninja, and 6 weeks later came out like she was fucking Lara Croft.
Well, a month and a bit. Like fucking, I'd imagine some fairly intense. This is how you're supposed to do it. If you don't do it, you don't eat.
Yeah, but like in fairness, like she was drilling people with a bow and arrow. Like there was a level of proficiency there that I don't think you can gather in 6 weeks. Although, like, it would be an intense 6 weeks.
Repetition. Yeah, this is my point.
Yeah, but how much out hunting was she doing? Because she out revealing stuff that happens at the end. Do you know what I mean? She was obviously doing other stuff.
She wouldn't need to have been out hunting to be getting intense training in how to do these things.
Yeah, I just don't think
it'd be part of. If you don't know how to know this stuff, think of it this way: if you can't do this stuff up here, doing it the whole time,
yeah,
someday your life might depend on being able to do this because of a situation that you don't know about right now.
Yeah.
Or, more importantly, someday we might need you to go out hunting.
The filmmaker's goal was to create dialogue about judging people by beliefs, language, and the way they look. It's muddled because the characters keep talking about it. I would totally agree with that, and I don't have an issue with that as a thing.
That was actually one of the more appealing parts of the story.
That was actually one of the better parts of the story. I liked the fact that the boyfriend stayed because he had inadvertently found, in a weird way, exactly what he was looking for.
Yeah.
Well, like the conversation they had in the bed at the start of the movie, when your man recanted what their community is about, was verbatim what the guy had said the night previous, or the night or two previous. My issue was none of that has anything to do with a fucking Wrong Turn movie. Number one. And number two, this is what I'm saying. It's like it's a movie where I feel they just stuck Wrong Turn on it because your man who wrote Wrong Turn wrote this.
Yeah, it's probably, as I said, we need another Wrong Turn movie.
I can actually see the pitch meeting now where he's like, okay, so it's about this real sophisticated but yet rural and survivalist community that live in the woods. They've technically got it all nailed down right in their own weird little way. Some fucking idiots from the town make their way up to the woods, somehow get a little bit sidetracked, end up down there, shenanigans happen, and the producer guy was like, oh, so like another Wrong Turn movie? And he's like, well, no, not like a Wrong Turn movie at all. Do you know, it just happens to be also set in, like, with a community in the woods and stuff like that. You wrote Wrong Turn, though, didn't you? Yeah. I did. So it's another Wrong Turn movie. I'm hearing killers in the woods. Sophisticated, developed community, but yet still old school Viking-like.
Rustic
thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, Wrong Turn. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll just how would it tie in to the other ones? It doesn't tie in at all, actually. In fact, not remotely. I'm not even pitching you a Wrong Turn movie.
Story.
Okay,
totally
you know what we'll
together.
do? We'll call it a reboot. We'll get it out there 2021. Get writing. Okay. Cool.
It's already written. Just give me my money. I'm leaving. Okay. I'm sick of this shit.
Do we need a lot of
Take it.
We need a lot of
I'm done.
Do we need a lot of budget for the
I'm done. You have my script. I'm gone.
Do we need a lot of budget for the inbred cannibals because of that? No, they're Vikings. Oh, they're Vikings. Oh, that's even fucking better. That's way cheaper. Okay, cool, perfect. Sweet. Cannibal Vikings. No, they're not cannibals. What? Look, it'll be fine. Whatever. Wrong Turn. Okay, cool, brilliant. Okay, sweet. That I can see the pitch meeting being that. To be honest.
Needless to say, as you can imagine by our remarks so far, neither one of us are going to be particularly recommending this movie, be it because it's not a good reboot or because it's just not a very good, enjoyable film.
I'm actually going to recommend it, but it's with a half a GoreCast rating.
Only because there's parts of it that are intriguing, and I like the idea of, them really walking themselves into it by just saying, they're going to try and kill us.
There's some really, really cool ideas in this movie that don't get explored at all.
And don't get connected together properly.
Which is what fucked me off with this movie. So some more of them in training in the commune would have been fucking great. So it doesn't look like she fucking threw on a fucking loincloth and turned into fucking Lara Croft, because to me that's even the time depiction of between them getting brought in and escape really looked like it was 2 nights if it wasn't for some lines of dialogue in a bar.
Yeah, I think like it's they show a timeline at the start of the movie, and then do they go back and forth? To be fair, you have a character that's where we are now, and he's doing stuff, and then we go back 6 weeks and we have the whole story with them. So to be fair, I don't think we go back to present time until we see that character again, and that is after the whole thing with the community, with the foundation.
It's not put across visually well. Yeah.
True. If you're Buzz and you miss that whole 6 weeks earlier bit, you're really fucked.
Yeah, because you would think this all happened over the course of a couple of days. Yeah, I suppose we'll just do the ratings now, so you and I can just do the proper goodbyes and trailers when we come back. Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay.
Half a star for me, or half a GoreCaster, or half a Gore Club for me. But I would still recommend it. There's there's a great methodology that's been put across in it. It's just not put across properly or explored properly because they were too busy writing 7 different endings for the fucking movie and then deciding to shoot all of them.
Oh my God.
That would be it. But there's some very cool aspects to the movie. It's just wrapped in a pile of shit.
Yeah. I'm going to go with half a star as well for pretty much the same reasons. I mean, there are things that really could have worked in this film, and it's just, for whatever fucking reason, it's getting there. I know they say that the journey is the point, but in this case, the journey is taking you so far from the fucking point, you forget what the fucking destination was supposed to be in the first goddamn place, or where you started off from, or where the hell you are right now, or what the story wants you to fucking...
all the stuff with the dad, if you had just kept that as a story arc and not turned it into a whole fucking segment of its own, would have been great. Like little flashbacks little flashes to the dad kind of realizing, oh shit, she's gone fucking missing. Little flash to him doing this bit here, little flash to him doing that bit there, but predominantly sticking with the people we've been under the impression we're going to be stuck with for the movie. And more of the commune, please, because you really don't get an in-depth anything about them. America was going to shit. We're Vikings and we live in the woods.
Well, it was more than just the Vikings, to be fair. He did say that. That was one of the interesting things about it. He turned around, he actually went,
I'm not saying that they're all Vikings. Oh, no, sorry. I am saying that they're all Vikings. I'm not saying that it's a bunch of white blonde dudes. But the way they dress, the way they talk, and the way they do everything is very Nordic. Or Norse, should I say, sorry.
Yeah.
Black, white, Asian,
yes,
blue, green, yellow. Doesn't matter if you're in the commune. I'm not talking about racially. I'm talking the commune itself.
Which would have been the old school mindset anyway.
Warriors are warriors.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to hit you with the trailer for Wrong Turn. Then we're going to be back to say our goodbyes and let you know what's coming up for the rest of the week on the GoreCast. Back in a minute.
Do you know what we wouldn't have found if we would have stayed on the trail? waterfall with cliff. What is that?
I saw someone. I saw someone.
My country 'tis of thee.
It's a story people know but don't talk about. Except in whispers, like a ghost story.
Sweet land of liberty.
We don't bother them. And they don't bother us.
Of thee I sing.
But anyone who goes up there, what is this place? They don't come back.
Fathers died.
It's happened before.
Pilgrim's pride.
Descendants of these people are still living up there on the mountain?
They said they would be the foundation on which a new nation would be built.
From every mountain let freedom ring.
And we're back. That was the trailer for Wrong Turn, which, now watching that property as well, also fucked me off. Because if you look at the way they edited that together, the only glimpse of anyone from the fucking foundation that you see is the one guy with the skull head behind the fire, where if you're any fan of the Wrong Turn movies, you're definitely like, well, that's a crazy fucking mutated cannibal being lit by firelight if I ever saw one. No, it's a really handsome looking motherfucker with a fantastic fucking beard, is all I can say. Like, I even said it to Pam while we were watching it, that I was like, hey, look, if you're going to have to be forcibly marrying anyone while stuck in a fucking crazy commune of Nordic fucking survivalists, you could do worse. Do you know what I mean? He's built like a brick shithouse. He's gorgeous. You know? He's got that fucking super awesome beard where it's like, I'm grey here, with the little streak of white. Winning. You know what I mean?
Are you sure you don't want to get lost in the Appalachian Mountains?
If he tries to come near me, I will physically eat his fucking face off. And then you can call it a Wrong Turn movie because there's some fucking cannibalism in it. Boom! Nice. No, but like, do you know the way the same way your man that plays?
Oh my God!
Do you know the way your man that plays Deathstroke in Arrow and stuff like that would be what you would call a good-looking silver fox kind of gent?
That
guy. He looked like him.
Crixus.
Yeah, going to look like him. This is what I'm saying. It's definitely not the movie you're going in thinking you're going to see. Anyway, that's it from myself and Giz for tonight. As is customary, we are going to be on all week as usual. Buzz and Carter are going to be back this Tuesday, where they're going to be reviewing, for once, as you're aware, the standard tradition within the GoreCast is that Buzz probably hasn't seen movies, and but kind of knows a bit about them and then goes and sees them and things like that. Whereas uncharacteristically this week, they're going to be doing Godzilla versus Godzilla in original versus remake. And Buzz knows everything. Like what I can only describe as too much about Godzilla. You know what I mean?
No such thing.
He kept farting answers out about questions that I didn't even have. And he kept just talking about Godzilla. That I felt like I was listening to you talking about fucking fucking Warhammer or something like that at one stage that I was like, Jesus Christ, I've never seen him factually talk this long on one team. There was a whole timeline. I'm nearly full sure why he was talking to me. He had a whiteboard with all of the points. And he was like, this one goes to here, but that movie technically isn't the reboot because that is part of this fucking story arc here. So realistically, if you're going to go that one and that one are the ones that...
Yeah, his brain probably works like mine. He sees them all as images interlinked.
But anyway, if you guys like Godzilla, they're talking some proper original Godzilla versus remake Godzilla, which is still some proper original style Godzilla. Whew. And this Thursday, myself and the boys, as we have our usual group chat, will be having a Mighty Morphin Monster movie night as we review Psycho Goreman and 2 other movies yet to be determined, as there is a poll up on Horror Amino currently. If any of you guys are Horror Amino heads, by all means go over and vote in the poll, where there's 4 movies to choose from. Whatever the top 2 movies are will be the other 2 movies that we review on Thursday night. And whatever the top movie is out of the poll, there will be a group watch of that on Wednesday night in the GoreCast chat room over in Horror Amino. So, yeah, some crazy monster movies that are in the vein of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, all to tie in with the fact that Psycho Goreman is just a fucking Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie with a fucking 18 start and a real bratty kid, but god damn it, I gotta love her gumption, she's good. She's bratty, but in that sort of yeah, I respect you.
I still haven't watched it yet. I was going to wait until Thursday and then...
I am telling you that right now.
I'd say
you are
I
going
will.
to love it. You're going to want to punch that young girl in the face for a good, I'm going to say 45 minutes of the movie, but then it gets to a point and you're just kind of like, you know what, kid, you got some balls. And you're like, yeah, you know, that's it. Sure, you don't want to stick around a little longer so I can continue to dish the Super Bowl. I'd love to, but I have been awake for 26 hours now, so I need to sleep. So we are going to have to go. But if you
can always just
segue, don't interrupt the segue. But if you are looking for something to watch, it's starting, I would imagine, either has started or is starting soon over on American Horrors. Myself and Giz are talking about some of the craziest mind control and mind altering things that go on in the field of horror, which is, as I said, starting now or would be starting soon enough over in American Horrors. Use channel code AMHOR to add American Horrors to your Roku listings, or you can alternatively watch on strictlystreaming.com, Tubi TV, and www.americanhorrors.com, which is the highly edited, highly slick, and much more condensed and palatably sized GoreCast TV show. It's 30 minutes. Well, I say 30. It's 25 with an ad break.
I'm very palatable.
It's 25 with an ad break. So that's starting on over there. And other than that, yeah, you guys have got the rundown of what's going on for the next week. We got some crazy Valentine's plans for next week. Next Sunday show. There's going to be a group chat. There's also going to be a special Valentine's Day group chat on Sunday as well, where I think we're doing My Bloody Valentine original versus remake. The 4 of us. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we'll probably throw another Valentine's Day movie in there because we technically do 3. And just before we go, as per usual, if you happen to be new to the stream or to the chat and you aren't subscribed to the channel, you'll find a little like and subscribe button at the bottom of the channel. If you could hit that, that'd be amazing. And if you happen to have enjoyed the show and want to know when we're on a more regular basis, click the bell. It makes a little ding ding noise and it'll let you know, supposedly, when we go live. Eventually. A good 35 to 45% of the time, they'll let you know when we're going live. Yeah, that's it. So, other than that, from myself and Giz, we'll catch all you guys during the week where we're going to be talking about some other sort of mad horror bollocks. Here's the trailer for tonight's GoreCast episode over in American Horrors if you're looking for something to keep you entertained for another 35 minutes. Talk to you later, guys. Doodles.
Component soldering is Well, what's going on? Doing the reps?
Almost. I have another quick experiment I want to try with you first. If that's
No. We're done doing experiments, right? Last week you said fucking wrap it up my arse, okay? That's it. No more experimenting on this.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the rocket thing because that's a multi-purpose tool.
What do you mean multi-buttons?
Rewind. Fast forward. Loop. Right, actually, this gives me a good idea for an episode. Join myself because this Sunday, 8:30 p.m. CST, and whatever that place is, GMTs, only on American Horrors, we're going to be talking about some of the craziest mind-controlled, brainwashing, and scientific brain tomfoolery known to horror.
Don't forget, if you enjoy our Madcap GoreCast horror hijinks, we stream 3 nights a week over on YouTube, Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays, where you can see a little bit of this. Turd spoon, god damn, I knew there was something I wanted to bring up in the... God damn, I don't know what a fucking turd spoon is, but I'm mad to...
Yeah, pretty in-depth.
Most definitely some of this.
With a new 2009 twist. She pulls out of her vagina.
I'll give it to her though, because like, you know how like magicians kind of like do something and they pause dramatically? She took that dramatic pause.
And occasionally some of this.
Our favorite Halloween movies.
What's up, GoreCasters? Welcome back here to the GoreCast. Yeah, okay, I'm here. I'm back.